waiver wire pickups at every single position, including kicker and defense for fantasy football. Week 8. Welcome, Couch Fam, to the video. And if you're new to this channel, my name's Hussein the Brain, and you're watching The Couch. Please make sure you subscribe. Hit that thumbs up because this is the best waiver wire list out there. Lots have been changing. That's why it took me so long to record this. But let's jump right into the waivers. 2 teams on bye this week, so we survived bye-pocalypse, and now only 2 teams on bye, the Ravens and the Raiders, so make sure you're not starting any of those players, For quarterbacks, where's the good cutoff here? I'd say around the top 5-ish is actually pretty good. Getting more alerts here. Giant safety Jabril Peppers tore his ACL and will miss the rest of the season. He's in the final year of his contract. Rough all around. It's lots of changes happening last second up to recording this video and while I'm recording this video. But I would say the top 5 options are pretty good. Pretty good long term as well, but mainly we're focusing on just this 1 week. So number 1, I have Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is having a great, somewhat surprising year, pretty good in fantasy, and against the Chiefs, you just really can't go wrong. Quarterbacks always ball out against the Chiefs, and this game script is going to be good. What are people saying on my Twitter feed? Oh, the teams have figured out the Chiefs and whatnot. I don't know if that's quite true yet. One bad game by Mahomes. I'm not jumping off the Chiefs ship just yet. I think their offense is still high powered, and Vegas agrees with me. Should be an extremely high scoring game where the Giants are trailing at least at some point. So Daniel Jones should air it out and get a lot of yards against this terrible Chiefs defense. So he's my number 1 ad. And then after that, it was really difficult to rank this because I love Sam Darnold. Trevor Lawrence is also pretty good, but I'm going with Jameis Winston. Sort of the same reason I'm going with Daniel Jones. Bucs defense is pretty good, but their pass defense sucks. Jameis Winston playing against the Bucs, I think he'll perform quite well. What's the chance that Mike Thomas is back for this game? Probably not going to be back, but Traquan Smith is back. We've seen him look, okay, but still pretty rusty. His first game back, so we'll see how he does. His second game back. I do like Jameis Winston as a risky streaming option this week against the Bucs. Also keep in mind, if you need him for a few more weeks, he's facing the Falcons, then the Titans, then Eagles. Pretty good. Now, the one big knock on Jameis is he doesn't throw a lot. He's not airing it out, so don't expect too many pass yards this season from him. But if there's one game where the game script's good, Bucs will score a ton of points, and Jameis can attack this Bucs secondary and air it out in the fourth quarter, this is it. So I do like Jameis Winston. Sam Darnold, first 3 games look pretty good, and then after that, it's looked absolute trash. I don't know what the final verdict is on Sam Darnold, but I do love him this week. Going against the Falcons defense, probably won't find a better situation. Falcons defense is atrocious. Every quarterback, everybody, every offensive player going against the Falcons actually looks really good. Then we got Trevor Lawrence at number 4 going against the Seahawks. Carson Wentz has been looking great going against the Titans, and then he faces the Jets and Jaguars. So another good streaming option and sort of long-term option as well. Trade rumors for Deshaun Watson. We really can't believe them, but the trade deadline is coming up here real soon. Could be worth a stash if you have the bench space. And then if you're really desperate, we got Big Ben going against the Browns. Teddy Bridgewater doesn't seem to be 100% after that injury going against Washington. Jared Goff going against the Eagles. That should be an interesting one. The Lions do need to throw the ball in the fourth quarter and third quarter. Maybe even the second quarter because they're trailing every single game. This game should be a little bit closer, though. Mac Jones going against the Chargers. In Superflex leagues, we got Case Keenum. and Tyrod Taylor in Superflex leagues as well. And in deep Superflex leagues, we have Zach Wilson with an injury. The Jets just signed Joe Flacco. Don't think he'll play week 8, but seems like Mike White, the backup quarterback for the Jets, will play. And we know how it is in deep Superflex leagues. You need to start a quarterback at Superflex pretty much to get those points. Although, if you got Davis Mills going against me, maybe you should probably bench him. For running backs, Miles Sanders expected to miss some time, so Kenny Gainwell naturally goes to the top. This is a running back by committee, but Kenny Gainwell is pretty talented. He's had some big games and also has cemented a role in this offense. Good pass catching back, good third down back, and his role will increase. So we got a nice floor here. He's good in PPR leagues, and now he's getting better in non-PPR and should get a lot more snaps and opportunities. Then after that, there's really nobody to pick up. To be honest, these are all depth piece players. There's no home run running back hits here, but we do have Samaje Perine, Naheem Hines, Sony Michel. Now, I think he'll do better this week than he did last week, so keep that in mind. That could be a sneaky pickup, but definitely not one you want to rely on. Could be in my DFS video coming up as a contrarian pick. Peyton Barber is on bye, but Josh Jacobs is hurt yet again. Remember, when Jacobs is hurt, Barber is usually going to take over his role, and Drake doesn't see too much of an uptick. But who knows? Drake's looking better now that Gruden is gone. Not saying those two are related, but those two events did happen at the same time. Correlation, causation, I don't know. It happened. Salvin Ahmed, because Malcolm Brown is headed to IR. He's going to miss a lot of games. The Dolphins did sign Duke Johnson. Don't recommend picking him up, though. Carlos Hyde, Boston Scott, Rashad Penny. He's now that he is back in the mix, and Jordan Howard could be getting some carries here as well for the Eagles. At wide receiver, we do have some pretty good options here. We got Laviska Shenault, Russell Gage, and MVS. Those are the three at the top. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is on IR, but is expected to be back for week 8. The Packers do play Thursday Night Football. They go against the Cardinals. It's not looking good with Devontae Smith. I'm getting all the names wrong. Devontae Adams, the star wide receiver, likely to be out. Thursday Night Football is on the special COVID reserve list. I don't think it's guaranteed that he's out, but he's likely going to miss week 8. Allen Lazard, on the other hand, not vaxxed. That's a guarantee. He is going to miss week 8. So Allen Lazard will not be playing week 8. MVS is expected to be back. Devontae Adams is not expected to play Thursday Night Football. Hopefully you got all that down. So we do have MVS here as a risky start. Could be a Julio Jones type scenario, his first game back. But when you got Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball, it just might be worth it. I don't see you starting MVS unless you're super desperate. And with only 2 teams on bye, you're probably not. I guess if Hollywood Brown was, you have Hollywood Brown and, I don't know, Henry Ruggs starting, I can see you starting MVS. It's a risky start. I do like it, but just be prepared that you might get a 0 or 6 points if you start MVS. Also, you could get like 19 fantasy points. I don't know. Packers should throw the ball, though. And then at number 4, we have Van Jefferson. I just love this stat. I think it's so profound that we're seeing Van Jefferson with these splash plays. 7 targets this past week versus Robert Woods, only 6 targets. So Van got 7, Bobby Trees only 6. Something to definitely note. I think it's major right there. Not saying Woods sucks or anything, just saying, hey, Van Jefferson, top 4 wide receiver pickup on my waiver wire rankings. Cole Beasley could have a huge game against the Dolphins. One of the biggest things with this Bills offense that's different, not other than the running backs are getting involved and having some success, but the tight end, Dawson Knox. So with him being hurt, I don't think he's going to play. Got Cole Beasley here. It should give a boost to these wide receivers like Cole Beasley, Sanders, and Diggs. Then we got Randall Cobb. Naturally, he'll be the number 2 wide. Oops, let's go back. Sorry, I jumped the gun here. Randall Cobb naturally will be a number 2 wide receiver for the Packers, I guess, by default. And then in deeper leagues, we have Darius Slayton, Dante Pettis, Traquan Smith. Terrell Williams could be a sneaky ad. He's been on IR forever, but should be coming back fairly soon. Don't know if it's this week. Don't know if it's next week. Maybe it's 3 weeks from now, but he should be coming back really soon. And I wouldn't recommend picking up too many other Lions wide receivers because they seem to rotate every 2 to 3 weeks. But I did want to add Khalif Raymond here, who for now is the number 1 wide receiver for that team. At tight end, these top 5 options, maybe even top 6, are really good. So we have some really good streaming options here and even long-term ads. So Hunter Henry should be great. Revenge game against the Chargers. Jonnu Smith is hurt. He was ruled out fairly fast after his injury that he suffered in the Week 7 game against the Jets. So that is a big deal. Jonnu Smith could miss Week 8. And then we have Evan Ingram in this absolutely monster game script against the Chiefs. He's averaging nearly 6 targets a game. And, man, I do like this as a streaming option. For those of you that do have Darren Waller, like me in some leagues, Evan Ingram could be an absolutely great bye-week fill-in. Then we have Robert Tonyan, who's going to probably be a top 3 target at this rate for Thursday Night Football. Jared Cook, excuse me. Pat Freiermuth, Mo Alley Cox, not that bad. Cole Kmet, now we're getting into deeper league territory here. Dan Arnold, CJ Uzama, Adam Troutman, Tommy Tremble. That's it for tight ends. Excuse me, I have no water. I had to just start recording. Defenses. Lots of great streaming options for defense. We have the Niners D going against the Bears, elite defense this week. Bills D going against Dolphins, another elite option. Then a little bit of a teardrop off here. Bengals D going against the Jets. Browns D going against the Steelers. Bears D going against the Niners. And it's gonna be a poop fest, slow scoring, quarterback disastrous game here. This Bears Niners game. Steelers D going against the Browns. And then Broncos D going against Washington. Now we're kind of getting into that next tier 3 here, a little bit deeper leagues. Seahawks D going against the Jags. Eagles D going against the Lions. Jaguars D going against the Jaguars D going against Geno Smith-led Seahawks. Chargers D going against the Patriots. Excuse me. Chiefs D, Washington defense, Titans defense, Cowboys D, only in super deep leagues. But those first 6-7 options are pretty good there. If you want to go back and add one of those defenses, pretty good options. At kicker, great options here. I love the top 6 to 7-ish, right around here. So Tyler Bass, absolute beast, should be a top 3 kicker pretty much every week. Matt Prater, top 3 kicker this week probably as well. Yeah, home game going like this. Yeah, I love these top 2. I mean, you could really rank with this new news Matt Prater ahead of Tyler Bass. Now, I'm not going to change it. I do like Tyler Bass more long-term probably, and I like Matt Prater more this game. So if you're looking for this week, it would be Matt Prater, I would say. But more long-term, Tyler Bass. Regardless, these two are super elite. So these are the 2 guys you really want to target. Now, unfortunately, they're probably rostered in your league. But no worries. We have another few options that are really good. So we got Evan McPherson going against the Jets. That's a really good option. Younghoe Koo going against the Panthers. He's a pretty good option. Greg Zuerlein's a good option as well. It's a dome game there. Brandon McManus going against Washington. That's a good option. Graham Gano. Now, it's not the ideal situation, but the Giants should be able to move the ball and get in field goal range quite a bit. and he's a really talented kicker as well. And so you really want to target these top 7 guys. So I really think at least one of these guys is available for you. And remember, don't spend any FAB. Don't put in a waiver claim. Just try to get these guys for free. If you guys have a free agency period, that's when you want to add one of these guys. That's what we do every week. We've been extremely successful this year, and we've been getting guys like Younghoe Koo for free. We've been getting guys like Nick Folk for free on the weeks where he does good. And I don't recommend him on the weeks he does bad. As you can see, I don't have Nick Folk on my top 7 here. Yeah, don't spend any FAB. Don't burn a waiver wire claim. Just try to get him for free. $0 FAB or free agency if you can. Okay, so in deeper leagues, we have Jake Elliott, Randy Bullock, Chris Boswell, Greg Joseph. And super duper deep leagues, we do have Ryan Suckup, Nick Folk, and Jason Myers, a Seahawks kicker who's just was terrible in week 7. He had some opportunities and missed everything, but he's really not that bad of a kicker. I'd say that's more of a fluke. I'm not a big fan of his. He's not great or anything, but I don't think he's terrible. Like, I don't think they'd cut him or anything like that. He should improve. Still, I have him ranked 14th, so I don't like him that much. All right, guys, make sure you do subscribe to this YouTube channel. I read every single comment, so drop your fantasy football questions down below. I will read them and try to respond to every single one. We have a second YouTube channel called Fantasy Couch Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to that as well. Smash the thumbs up. Appreciate all of you guys. Let's get that W. Let's get that win. That's what we care about. All right, guys. See you on the next one.